weiter. Also, I just want to make sure that, because I would talk about one thing specifically, but we may have done it. We did tzitzis. The parsha starts off with loisasuru, lasura sa'aretz, to spy out land, and ends off with loisasuru achar yinechem. So you have to really stel to the meraglim lasura sa'aretz to loisasuru. Right, that's the tzitzis and the payas. We did the payas one. The payas tzitzis.
Years ago, this was like in Kapel's house.
Yeah, that's not so many years ago.
Tzitzis by night Seder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did it. Or someone else. The tzitzis talk. The tzitzis payas.
No, I don't know that.
Okay, good. Okay,
I
so
remember
so
that.
we'll
It's a different crowd.
we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what we can do. So first, let's do a little bit a short recap of last week. Last week's very Yisaitistic. Everybody noticed. I'm sure Vayihi ben Soya Ha'arain, right? The Vayihi ben Soya Ha'arain that is separated from the rest of the. It's his own parish in the Torah. It's separated by upside down nuns. So the Yisaid is to figure out what an upside down nun is supposed to be. When you figure out what upside down nun is, you probably get the whole point of the whole parasha. But even without figuring it out, everything changes after Leisasu, after Vayihi ben Soya Ha'arain. Like. From Vayihi ben Soya Ha'arain on, everything is a mess up. It starts off right away. Vayihi ha'am kemis oinanim. Everyone's kvetching. They don't want the mun. And then next is his avutava. They want basar. And then comes Miriam saying lashon hara. And then this week comes the meraglim. And then comes the bnei Menashe. And then next week is Koirach. It doesn't stop. So what changed? What changes Vayihi ben Soya is what is it's when they leave Har Sinai, right? It's till Vayihi ben Soya Ha'arain. That's what Vayihi ben Soya means. Vayihi ben Soya Ha'arain, and it was when the Ha'arain begins to travel, and that's when you go. You move with the Ha'arain. So and then uvenuchoy, and when the Ha'arain comes to rest, then everyone stops traveling. It's two psukim. Vayihi ben Soya Ha'arain v'yom Moshe kuma Hashem v'yafutz oyevecha. When the Ha'arain moves, Hashem should scatter your enemies, and then uvenuchai, and when the Ha'arain rests, then come back to your people. So this is why when we open the Ha'arain, we say Vayihi ben Soya Ha'arain. We take the Torah out of the Ha'arain, and then we put the Torah back in the Ha'arain. We say uvenuchai yomer. That's why we say it. It's literally what when the Ha'arain moved in the Mishkan, in the Midbar. So, Klal Yisrael complains to Moshe. What does Moshe say? Just to recap last week's parasha. It starts off with Klal Yisrael complaining. They don't like the mun. The mun was Kizra Gad. The tam is Lishad Hashemen. It's Tapichas Bidvash. It has a few descriptions of the mun. It's like Kizra Gad means like coriander seeds. That's the art school says at least. The taste, okay, l'shad hashaman, lechem hakloikel. It's called this bread. That's all these words need explanation. But and Klal Yisrael says zachar es hadagar she'achal Mitzrayim. We remember the fish that we had in Mitzrayim, ves hakishuin, ves habatiach, ves habitzolim, the peppers and the onions that we ate in Mitzrayim, chinam. We eat for free. Like we had a good gig. And like now we have none of this. Stam, everybody knows it's the most chutzpah thing to say, but it needs to be explained. So I just want to show you a very important pattern. I know we don't have time to do it with all of its pratim, but the patterns, the aside to understanding major things. Moshe complains to Hashem. After they complain to him, Moshe complains to Hashem also. Moshe says to Hashem what? Lo uchal levadi says, I can't carry these people anymore. Kiyisa oimen es hayonik. Like a nursing mother carries a nursing kid, I can't carry Klal Yisrael like this. It's too much of me. They're just always kvetching and always complaining. What are you doing to me, Hashem? And Hashem says, Maskim. He says, fine, let's hire you some, deputize some people. He gets the Shivim Zakenim, Vaye Otzel Min HaRuach, Asher Olav. Hashem takes some of the spirit of Moshe and puts it onto them. And then Yoshua comes running over saying, Moshe, there's two guys who were just saying nevuah in the machane, like cheapening nevuah now. and kloim, like take care of them. And Moshe goes, it's all good. Halavai, everybody was saying Nevuah. So there, these guys' names are Eldad and Medad, and so they would Eldad and Medad are a response when Moshe says, I can't carry these people anymore like a nursing mother. That's what he says. And Klal Yisrael's complaint was that we remember the pepper and the onion and the fish that we had in Mitzrayim. So Chazal say an interesting thing. What do they say? Chazal say that what's the common denominator of all the things they were complaining about? These are all things that the mun couldn't taste like. That was the kasha. The kasha was, what do you mean they want all these foods? The mun tastes like anything in the world. Just say you want it to taste like pepper or onions. Like, what kind of weird complaint? The mun could be anything. So the Gemara, the Chazal say that no, it could taste like anything except all these things. These are all the things that nursing women can't eat. When you're nursing, you can have pepper and onions. These are all things that are, and the mun couldn't taste like that. So that's a very random thing. Why the mun is mugbal by things that nursing women can't eat. But it starts to become more obvious when you start to connect all the dots. Moshe says when they complain, I can't carry them like a nursing woman anymore. And Hashem points, and the mun tasted like Lashad Hashemen. What does that mean, Lashad Hashemen? So Chazal say from Lashon Shodayim, like from the Shodayim. That is, it's like nursing. And the name of the two people that Moshe, that were saying Nevuah and the Machaneh were Eldad and Medad. What does that mean in translation? Right? Dadim are also breast. So Eldad means to the breast and Medad means from the breast. So the entire story here is Klal Yisrael's complaint. The mun can't taste like the food that nursing mothers can't eat. It tasted like Lashad Hashem and like Shadayim. Moshe says, I can't carry them anymore like a nursing mother. He gives over the Nevuah, and the people who are saying Nevuah are from the breast, to the breast and from the breast. Eldad and Medad. So what's going on? So the emphasis, this is the way you have to understand the whole parsha, what's going on. What's going on is that this is, why do we eat milchiks on Shavuos? Because that's what Har Sinai is. Har Sinai is, you have to see it, when Klal Yisrael was in the stage of a nursing child being held by Hashem, or by Har Sinai, and that's what the mun represents. That's why it's called Lishad Hashemen. It's like a breast, and it's like a baby. We're in the stage of being little babies, taken care of by Hashem, being fed and given everything. And that's how you can understand what's Klal Yisrael's complaint, that we can't have pepper and onion. We don't like the limitations of being taken care of. What do we want? We want meat. What's meat? What are they saying? They're saying like we want to earn something. We want to become creative. We don't want to be schnorrers. We want to grow up. That's the sugya. And that's why Hashem is maskim. And he says, and that's why the people who say Nevuah are called Eldad Umeidad. This is the story of the weaning of Klal Yisrael. If Har Sinai is the milchiks, then the graduating Har Sinai is where you're going to eat meat. It's not just the story they want meat. It symbolizes that we're done with milk. We don't want to nurse anymore. We want to start earning our way. We want to start eating Maisi Yadayim. We want to be real human beings. We want to go march into, and Hashem was maskim. And that's why it's called Eldad and Medad, and that's why Moshe says, I can't carry them like a nursing mother. You can't, there's a point where you can't nurse your kid anymore. Now it's a very risky day for a parent, the day that happens. The day you put your kid down. And the day you get him a bike, and the kid is going to fall 50 times, and he's going to get stitches, and he's going to get black and blue marks, and you just hope the stitches are not going to be like on his, on his face or something. It's too bad. You get him plastic surgery. It doesn't ruin the shidduchim. But he's going to get shidduch. He's going to get stitches. And this is the story. The way you have to understand Parshas Ba'al Loischa is the story of Klal Yisrael going off on their own, becoming a real people. And that's actually how the whole parsha is introduced. It's not this random little thing. Ba'al Loischa es haneres. What does Chazal say? When you light the candles, you have to light them until the candles are lit on their own, right? The whole yisoid of Bahaloischa is that. It's a mashal to the sugi that's going on. Is that you have to light them. How long? Until they light on their own. And then you have to know to pull away the candle and the Bahaloischa is. And by the way, I don't know if we did 2 weeks ago also this year, but Nosai and Bahaloischa are very related parshas. They both mean to lift, to raise up. Nosai is to lift, and Bahaloischa is to raise up. But there's a lot of meanings of the word Nosai. If you want, I don't think we did a share in Parshas Nosai. We did? But if you're going to look at Parshas Nosai, you'll see that Nosai there's hardly any words that have as many meanings as Nosai does. There's many, many meanings. And every single one of those meanings is in Parshas Nosai. It's like, and no one notices, it's the trippiest thing. Nosai, the obvious one means to count. Nosai is right to count them. But it also means to lift. And right after the counting, it talks with the Levium. Their job was to be noisei ha'arayin, bakosef yisa'u, to be noisei. It's also Nesiim. The whole parsha is about the Nesiim, who are the raised up ones. Then you have Birkas Kahanim, which is Yisa Hashem Panav Elecha. It's called Nesias Kapayim, right? You have the Soita, which she does. It says Tisa as she should bear her sin. It means to bear, but also it's a bittel in Nisuin, right? Nisuin is marriage. Nesiim, Nisuim. Well, the Nazir. So I don't know if it says anywhere by Nazir the word Nosai. It's interesting. It's a different kind of raised up, but whatever it is, that's 2 weeks ago already. Nosai is all about the different meanings of the word to raise up, and Bahaloischa is all the different meanings of Bahaloischa. Bahaloischa sanayers, like the candles, and then right after that it talks about when you travel, behei olois ha'anon, when the anon rises. What's the difference between Nosai and Bahaloischa? Nosai is to raise something, to pick it up, and Bahaloischa is when you allow something to go up on its own. Moshe says, "Lo yuchal, I can't carry them." Lo seises kiyisa oimenes hayonik. We're done with Nosai. We need to make a translation to Bahaloischa, to going up. Right? You hear the difference? Nosai means to raise. Bahaloischa means to allow it to stand up on its own. And that's a transition. So Parshas Nosai was the end of the carrying stage, and Bahaloischa is when it changes that we stand on our own. So this is the parsha of becoming standing up on your own 2 feet, and with that comes all the fallings. By the way, you wanted to know about the daga. So there's a remez of the dagas, like there's a very powerful remez.
What's the daga?
They said we remember the fish we ate in Mitzrayim. They're having cravings for fish. Which is interesting. They say they want fish, and then when they ask, what they ask for is meat. You want fish or meat? Which one do you want? So, if you look, that the mon was called Kizra Gad, like the seeds of God. What's God? Gimel Daled. What does it mean? So I said the art scroll says it means coriander seed, but I just want to show you a very powerful remez. Did we discuss this Pesach time by the Haggadah, the Makas, Tzefardea? We ever discussed Tzefardea?
Yeah.
That's where you heard this. That's where you heard this word of Doug.
That's where it was?
Yeah, probably. I'll just say it quickly. The word for frogs in Hebrew is Tzefardea, which means what literally? What does it mean?
The birds of knowledge.
Tzipordea, birds of knowledge. Like, what does a frog have to do with a bird? Why is it the same word for tzipor and tzefardea? What's the difference between a tzipor and a tzipordea? But why should a frog and a bird have the same name? So the answer is that the word tzipor doesn't mean frog or bird. What does it mean? What's the shirish of the word tzipor?
It's not to speak.
What, tip tip to make sounds? Chip chip like
I don't know.
No, I think the shirish is in the word tzaf. In Pirkei Avos it says Afura Gilgoilas Echad Tzafal, floating upon the water. He saw a skull floating, and he said Al Da'atfuch, because you were killed, and the end of the person who killed you will be to be killed. You know that Mishnah? So that's the word tzaf means to float. So how do you explain floating? What's floating? So in the short, it's like this: is that the world, everything in life has different levels. Not even Mishalim, and practically, the world has the Torah describes that there's Mayim Elyonim, Mayim Tachtoinim, and there's earth in the middle. There's the Abasha, and then there's water. Hashem divided the water. He made a rakia lahavdil beimayim lamayim. So you have lower waters is called mayim. The upper waters are called shamayim, and the middle is the earth, the universe. So every one of those three levels has brias. In the water you have fish. On the land you have animals and humans and trees. In the sky you have planets and birds. What's planets? Let's say not birds. You have planets, stars, clouds, right? Every there's three levels. You with me on the three levels? Every level has stuff that lives there. And then there are two different brias that live on two levels. A bird can live in Shamayim and live on earth. They go up and down. Okay? And the word tzipor itself means to float. What does floating mean? Floating means you're not defined by one place. You float between relationships, you float between jobs. It means you're like between two worlds. You didn't find your place yet. You're not tied down. So a bird is called a tzipor because everything has its place, but a bird can live in Shamayim and Arts. And then you have another version of that. You have amphibians. Amphibians can live in the water and on land. So there's three levels. Every level has stuff that lives there, and then there are two brias that float between two levels. The upper level floater are tzipor, and the lower level floater are tzefardea. And by the way, that explains very good why there's a machlekes whether the tzefardea were crocodiles or frogs. What's the answer? What is tzefardea? It's amphibians. It was anything that lives in the water and the land came out of the water onto the land. That's the makkah of tzefardea. So that's that word. So once you understand that there's different levels, and that then there's things that bridge, so then that's how we went through a whole mahalach and a makkah space on that, right? If you remember, we started off that dam was a makkah on the lowest level, on the water. The bottom, the lowest level is the water. And then the next makkah is tzefardea, which is a transition from water to land. Right? That's the tzefardea, the amphibian. The next makkah was what? Was kinim, which has turned the earth, the land, into bugs. So you're working way up. We went through the makkahs. We showed how it's all the levels. Okay? You want to hear one?
You said it a little differently.
What? I said it differently then? Yeah. Okay, I said the whole long thing. But the point is now is I just wanted to go to here. The same thing. The mon was called Kizragad.
Is there a reason that by the amphibians it has the word dea?
Yeah. So dea. The simplest way to say it is that dea always means, like they call das. It's like chachma and bina is like philosophy, and das is emuna chushes. Is lemaisa, is the manifestation. Knowledge is intimate. It's not theoretical. It's it's bringing it down to. That's what das is. Das is to concretize something. So that's the simple. That's how das is always used. So there's tzipor and there's tzipor dea. There's two. This is the down to earth one, whatever that means. Okay, but all this was meant to be a 1-minute introduction. So what do you have? You have now Gimel Dal. You know the Gemara deals with the Aleph base, Aleph Bina. Gimel Dalet is Gimel mean? Gimel Dalam, right? Gimel Dalam. We did the share on Gimel, right? We did the camel one, the camel share. Mm-hmm. Right, remember that? The why weaning. Fits very good with this shit. Mm-hmm. Weaning. We said Rivka weaning.
Fell off the camel.
What?
That was Rivka falling off.
Yeah, but Rivka. We said that Yitzchak gets a suda biyoim he gomelis Yitzchak. Avram makes a suda on the day that Yitzchak gets weaned. He stops nursing. Fits very good with the shir. When he stops nursing, and we explained that why is stopping to nurse called he gomel? The literal translation of he gomel. The word gomel is a camel. He gomel would be to become cameled, to get cameled. It's a very strange thing. So what does gomel really mean? If it means weaned, it means camel. What's the common denominator between weaned and camel? So what's a camel? Can you define a camel? What's the difference between a camel and a horse? They're both for transportation, but what's the aside of a camel?
It doesn't need water.
The hum, that it stores water. A camel is called the ship of the desert. You can go for days, doesn't need to be near the trough. It can go independent. So when a child doesn't need his mother anymore, he can go off on his own. It's called higamel. Because the word gomel doesn't mean camel or weaned. It means to become independent. To become independent. That's why gemilos chesed is to be goimel chesed is to. We think it means to do chesed. No, that's chesed. To be goimel chesed means to help someone stand up on his own feet. It's the opposite of what we think. Goimel is to get what you. Gemul is called, like Olam Haba is called Gemul. It's where it's din. Gemul is the same thing as din. You get what you deserve. Your Olam Haba is called your Gemul. The Ramban is a sefer. But Gemul is you get your just rewards, what you deserve. A camel represents independence, and Yitzchak is, and that's Yitzchak. Yitzchak's din. Avram was pure chesed. Yitzchak is justice. So I'm going with so many tangents, but Yitzchak is justice. What's the beginning of a Yitzchak's life? Where does a Yitzchak's life start? If your whole purpose of life is to earn your own way, no free rides, so the birthday of that midah is the day you get weaned. And that's where it starts to be. Right? Chesed means I'm dependent. Nursing. Being weaned is independence. Yitzchak, that's why Yitzchak has a Suda. We don't get the Suda. We don't make the Suda. We don't copy it because it's a Yitzchak Suda. It's a Suda from Mr. Din. We're supposed to be a combination of Din and Chesed. We're not into being independent entirely. But Yitzchak is pure independence. So since Yitzchak's pure independence, so he gets a Suda on the day he gets weaned. So he gets a camel. That's what Gemilas Chesed is. So a gamel is a camel. Nigmal is to be weaned, and to give tzedakah is to help. Therefore, Gemilas Chesed is to help somebody become self-sufficient. That's the highest level of tzedakah. That's real. To wean him off of Chesed. That's what Gemilas Chesed is. So Mamela. So this is a sugya. So that's what we said in that shir. It's amazing. So if Yitzchak's whole midah is Mr. Independence, no handouts, weaned, no schnorring, let me do it myself. So what's the hardest thing in someone's life like that? Yitzchak's life is how do you find the shidduch? How does that guy get married? How do you get married if you don't need anything? Right? What's a relationship? There's no relationship. So what's that? What's nobody? You don't remember this? So what's the punchline? That's the punchline. Punchline is amazing. The only reason I'm doing this whole thing is you'll see how it connects in a second to the shir. It's just nice that it worked out like this. What's the punchline? That's why right, you hear the problem? The problem is if someone doesn't need anybody, so how you going to marry him off? Right? There's no relationship. So the answer is that's what Eliezer has to look for. What's he look for? He makes it the most random thing to Hashem. I'm coming here by the well, and the girl who's going to come out and says, I'm gonna give the camels to drink. He's looking for a girl who can give a camel to drink. You understand the trippiness of that? If a camel represents not needing anything, so what does Yitzchak need? A girl who can give even a camel to drink. It's amazing. Someone give a camel to drink. But it gets even crazier. Rivka, if you know the psukim, you know the chumash, it's like if you don't know it, you're not going to believe it. Like it's just weird. But Rivka travels with only one thing. Who does she travel with?
Chief.
What?
Safe.
Oh, it's safe. Very good. She covers herself. When does she cover herself? When she sees Yitzchak. When she sees Yitzchak coming out in the field to daven, Vatika chatzo if vatiskas. Why? Vatipol me'ala gomel. She fell off the camel, whatever that means. Now that we know the camel is much bigger, why is the Torah telling us this? And Yitzchak lifts his eyes and he vayar v'hine. It's like one of these Hollywood scenes where she lifts her eyes and she sees him, and he lifts his eyes, and usually the movies would be like slow motion and they run on the beach to each other. But here, what happens? Here's how Torah describes it. Rivka lifts her eyes, and he says, "Vayetze Yitzchak l'suach basada." Yitzchak went out to daven, to talk in the field. That he created mincha at this moment. Rivka lifts her eyes and sees him, and it says he lifts his eyes, and he sees camels coming. That's like ruins the whole romance. Like Rivka's coming and it says, oh, he sees camels. Camels coming, but that's what he needs. Whatever, that's what he is. That's him. He's like, this is. But Lamaisa, she gets to him, but in the beginning she doesn't. She's supposed to soften him up and teach him how to knead. And instead of her teaching him how to knead and softening up his cold din, she falls off the camel and she sees him. Means he toughens her up. She loses her chesed rather than him getting his din softened. And that's why she covers herself right away. And she marries him. By Yaakov, it says that Yaakov sees Rachel and he runs, he gives her a kiss. It's love at first sight. But by Yitzchak and Rivka, what does it say? He marries her. He brings her into the tent of Sarah's mother. First he marries her and then he loves her. By Yaakov, he loves her and then he marries her. Yitzchak is not capable of this kind of ava until after he marries Rivka. It's Rivka. But when Rivka leaves her family, what does she take with her?
She fell off the camel, meaning she didn't live up to what she was supposed to do.
Well, again, it's literally like the Force. It's like a Star Wars thing. She's pure chesed coming to him. This girl's only one midah. She feeds camels. Like she's pure chesed. That's her one thing. And he's pure din. And they're like, like in the movie, it would be like their forces are hitting each other, and it's like going this way, and like who's gonna win? But she falls off the camel. Like her. You're a Lakewood boy. You don't even know movies. Like I'm getting the point of a movie is to give a muscle that people understand.
This is way above movies.
But you hear what's going on over here, like that the muscle, the movie. Like you've seen those movies where the two people's forces, like I don't know, it's like his ray, and they're hitting, and they're like just going this way, and then it goes this way, or it's like they have the two swords and like they're pushing, and in the end she gets fried. Zzz. Like she gets zapped and she falls off the camel. His ray beam overwhelmed, the blue lightsaber overwhelmed the red lightsaber, whatever it is, and it ends. So that means his din overwhelmed her chesed, until she quickly covered herself and stopped whatever. But in the end, that pays off in the next parsha. What happens in the next parsha?
How did she end up providing for him?
Because he didn't destroy her. He made a. You'll see in the next week's parsha. When Yitzchak wants to give the brachas to Yaakov, who orchestrates the whole stealing of the brachas? It's not really Yaakov. Rivka says, you go, I'm dressing you up, you're going to tell your father. Where does that come from? This is a sweet little girl who just feeds camels, right? She's like the one nursing every bird with a broken wing. And here she is dressing up her little son, saying, Olai kil lascha b'ni. You go take it, and she goes, this is the din that she got from Yitzchak. It ends up becoming part of her, and she ends up having the koyach to take over Yitzchak here. But whatever it is, this is also not negir to what I wanted to go. I wanted to go. Rivka goes with one. So the whole point of going to this was to show you that Yitzchak represents pure din, which we call it camel. He gomel. He's the camel. I need nothing. Rivka, when she leaves her family, who does she take with her? Dvoira meinekes Rivka. She never goes anywhere without her meinekes. Are you familiar with that? In fact, the Torah doesn't even tell us when she dies. We don't know when Rivka dies. You know when Rivka dies? When Chazal says she died the day that Dvoira dies. It says the Torah tells us that Dvoira dies, and she buries her tachas ha'oloin. Rivka dies the same time. Rivka can't live without Dvoira meinekes Rivka. So the aside is, it's just, this is already like trippy things. It doesn't have I'm not giving a nimshal, but Yitzchak is pure weaned, and Rivka is always nursing. She doesn't go anywhere without her meinekes. So he's nigmal and she's yoinek forever. This is a shidduch of the nurser and the wean guy. It's like the caricature of the person who is total dependence and total independence. Total chesed and total, and that's a crazy shidduch. That's where you get a Yaakov and a Esav. You get this trippy thing. It comes from a meinekes and that's the same thing that finally happened. That's why it was a nesa that ended up. That's what we're saying happened over here on the global level of Klal Yisrael. Eldad and Meidad are literally Yitzchak and Rivka. Eldad means to the like nursing, and Meidad means weaned, right? Eldad and Meidad, to the breast and from the breast. And what was the sugya of Eldad and Meidad? Literally the response that Moshe says, I can't carry them like a nursing mother, and this is the weaning. But this dynamic is literally the dynamic of and that's Shleimus. Shleimus is Eldad and Meidad. Shleimus is Yitzchak and Rivka, which comes up in the third parsha then, when Yaakov finally Yaakov is finally going to meet Esav, and he sends him Eider Levada, he sends him flocks and flocks of animals, right? Tioshem Esrim, he sends him all kinds of animals as gifts. Say something. One thing doesn't belong in the. You have to see this inside. It's for it to be as cool as it is, but he sends the most trippy thing in the whole time. And like I said, nobody chaps these things because they don't think so messed up. But when you chap that gomel means to be independent, and nursing is to be dependent. So then, what's the trippiest thing in the world? He sends Esav. What? Gemalim meinikais. Nursing camels. What is that's like the craziest thing in the world. Gemalim meinikais. And like Esav's supposed to chop what he's doing? like so over Esav's head. But that's what Yaakov sends Esav. And that, I think that's the perfect balance. The perfect world. How do you reconcile the argument between being a gomel? Like it would be a nice debate to have, if you were like, you defend, one guy defend gomel and one guy defend nursing. Is it better is nursing holier or being a camel? The camel doesn't need anything, the nursing is totally dependent. What's better, dependence or independence? Right? What?
Interdependence. I would say independence.
So the answer is gemalim meinikais, nursing camels. Because why? What? It means that the nursing camel is totally independent, but it doesn't have no shaykhs. It's a giver. It's nursing. The problem with being independent is that I have no relation to anybody else.
Why not? Why can't you help other people?
What? Because I'm independent. That's independent. I'm an island. I'm an island.
You can help others, but no one else could help you.
So that's the shleimus. The shleimus is gemalim meinikais.
A gomel means he could help other people.
No, a gomel.
How can a gomel help someone else? You just can't receive help.
That's the vort. That's the vort of what a gamal meinikais are. The problem with Yitzchak was he didn't need anybody.
Right.
He was like
he was able to help other people.
But that's what Rivka had. Now the shaila is if that's even perfect. You could say gamal meinikais are not perfect because you're supposed to need somebody. Whatever is.
Meinikais need someone.
When we get back to that parasha, we'll do it properly. But because Rivka does outsmart even Eliezer. Eliezer says that he wants what? I want someone who's going to give the camels to drink. And what does Rivka do? Actually give him? She changes what he asked for. She does one step better. She says, I'm going to give you to drink and your camels to drink ad kaloisam lishtais, until they finish drinking. He didn't say that. What's the extra step of ad kaloisam lishtais? What does that sound like? What's the problem with someone who can give a camel? The problem is that a lot of women are like this. Is that they don't like that their husbands are so self-sufficient. They don't feel like they have a role. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing. It means they're marrying a man.
I understand, but the wife comes and says, "Well, but he doesn't need me for anything." So, if you were the therapist, how you gonna psychoanalyze that? What is that a good thing or a bad thing? She's coming to you. She wants him to become more vulnerable. So there's different ways to tighten it up. Give me a negative way to tighten it up.
He's not showing her enough affection.
That's his problem. What's her problem? Blame her.
Oh, blame her.
Don't do. You can't do this in like a lab. Don't do it in real life ever. But
she doesn't want to feel like the only one who's chasser.
like, why would she want her husband to become less perfect just so she?
She wants to feel like she's
That's a
having
terrible thing. A lot of people. What?
She wants to feel like she's having an impact.
That's
I understand. That's a good version that she wants to give. That's beautiful. But he doesn't
She
need.
just doesn't want to be the
So
only
you
one.
want him to have a setback.
You want him to want.
I mean, she doesn't want
You
to be the
want
one
him
that's
to.
not
You want
showing.
him to break his legs so that you can nurse him back to health. That's what you're asking for. You're asking that he should he should fall so that you could. That's so.
It's usually deeper. They just don't want to be the only one who's not showing. is why you can't ever let a girl order at a restaurant and you not order anything.
No,
She
so you're
wants to be
saying he's
fat.
not really Sholim. Fine.
wanna
So
be fat
so you
together.
so you're saying he's not really Yitzchak. But if the guy is really Sholim, pure din, is it a good thing for his wife to say, "I need him to need"? You hear the problem. So that's what Rivka does smarter. Eliezer says, "I need someone who can give a camel to drink, who can live with this camel." But she says, "Ad kaloisam lishtais." What does that mean? Ad kaloisam lishtais. What she's saying is, I don't need him to be needy. I want him to be really full. My goal is to make him shalim. He's just not really shalim. Right? She's on your team. She's ad kaloisam lishtais means you're getting it wrong.
So you
Eliezer.
don't need me anymore.
I taka want him to become shalim.
To not need me.
But
he does
Lemaisa,
need
he but because that's the deep thing. You're not shalim until you can need. Needing is part of whatever. This is all like all these stuff is his own share. The point was all of this was just to give a recap of what we didn't do last week. Okay, we didn't even do this week.
Can we get back to the
Should we do a quick thing for this week?
But see, now you understand the whole Torah from last week, and that's why leaving Har Sinai is the weaning of Klal Yisrael going off. What?
We got off to hear with Zerah
That's
God.
also why we had the Egal Azal.
Oh, Kizra Gad. So Kizra Gad is, the Mun is called Kizra Gad. God is Goimel Dalim. This is what bothered them. What bothered them? It's Lishad Hashomen. It's like nursing. It's Goimel Dalim. It's from the Goim, I'm a schnorrer. We're a bunch of schnorrers. Hashem gives the Mun, and we sit there and say it like little tatalas and say, it's Lishad Hashomen. It's like drinking from a breast. It's Kizra Gad, seeds of the gvir, for the guy, and I'm the schnorrer, goimel to the dal. It comes from the goimel down to us with the dal, and it's lechem hakleikel. It's empty. There's no creativity. There's no accomplishment. That's their complaint. It's consistent. This is why they don't like the Mun. Doesn't have any. It's nursing. And I want to be a
Sounds
man.
like it's a valid reason. It's not
It's
like
a very valid reason. So what do they say? They say we remember the dog asher ochal mitzrayim, chinam, and what dog is the opposite of God. Dog is why is the word for fish and grain the same word? Dogon, the goncha, v'siroishcha. The backwards of God is dog, right? One is goimel dalim, one is dal goim. What does dal goimel mean? What is a dal to the goimel as opposed to the goimel dalim? And there's two words in Hebrew that mean that, Dalet Gimel. Dogon and dog. What's the common denominator between dogon and dog? Can you figure it out? What is a fish? So that's why I gave you the whole structure of upper waters, lower waters, land in the middle. So Mun comes from above down to the earth. Fish are what? Or we're the guy pulling the fish out of the water up to me. It's from the Dal to the Goimel. I'm the Goimel. I'm the guy making it happen, pulling the fish out of the water, which is exactly what grain is also. Both grain and fish are the two things that humanity is the opposite of what?
pulling out of the
Is we're pulling at it. We're pulling from below to us. We're drawing it up. And that's b'zeyas hapecha toich halechem and dog. So the word dog doesn't mean grain or fish. What is it? It is the things where the man is the goimel, and that's the dal. And I'm the guy I'm the what's the English word for that? I'm the operator. I'm the creator. I'm the doer. Right? So that's why this Mun is called Kizra Gad. It's consistent. So the whole entire parasha over here is a parasha of growing up and stopping to nurse and becoming weaned. And then what happens is that's full of pitfalls. You fall, you break, you get you tear your pants, all the things that, and that's the stories of these parashas and that's the so what's an upside down nun? That's a very trippy thing. So what's a nun? What's a nun? We know in Ashrei there's no nun. We did the shir. We did the shir on the nun. Right? Ashrei goes with the aleph phase. Ashrei yeshiv yisecha b'chol yom avarochecha gimel gadol Hashem dalid. Right? Every letter of the alphabet, except from Mem is Malchus Kol Olamim, and the next pasuk is Soymech Hashem L'chol Noifim. There's no Nun, because the pasuk from Nun is a pasuk in Amos. The pasuk is Nafla Al Toisev Kum Besulis Yisrael. That Nun represents falling. Nefila, that's what nun, the prototype of what nun is, and that's why the pasuk for Samach after nun is Soymech Hashem l'chol noiflim. Hashem supports those who fall, but we skip the pasuk of falling. So if nun is falling, so what's an upside down nun?
Helping those
Rising
falling.
up.
What does it mean to fall?
Up.
Fall up. To fall
To
up.
draw
Get
up.
lifted.
What?
Be lifted.
I'm saying it's called falling. It's not called lifted.
The word
It's
is
called
nothing.
it's called falling. It's what does it mean falling? It's upside down. Upside. What is
Hitchhiker's
literally what is upside down falling?
The hitchhiker's got if you
Anti-gravity?
fall.
What?
Right.
It's a trippy thing.
Outer space.
What?
If you fall,
No, so that's what it is. That's the idea. The idea is that we are now, after this, we're going to find 100 Averis. Everything going wrong. But this is how we see falling. It's
And the
it's
hitch is
upside
very
down
low.
falling. What?
You're trying your best.
This is where you
to
learn- this-
run your own.
This is where you learn how to walk. This is
Right.
where you learn. It's not
It's the guy on the bike.
It's not the regular. It's not the regular Sheva Yipol Tzaddik. It's more than that. Is that this is how you climb.
but this is the hitchhiker's guide to the galaxy as a tire that if you fall and miss the ground, then you fly.
That's what he says.
It's in
Douglas
you.
Adams.
Yeah, so they're falling, but you're not getting messed up. You end up flying.
if you fall and miss the
Just falling
ground,
up.
you're flying. That's how you
So
fly.
you miss-
It's like what's his name? Who says that? Mitch Hedberg. What he says. I love escalate. Escalators can never break. They just become stairs. He said there's a sign on a broken escalator. Escalator broken. Sorry for the convenience. It says escalator broken, now stairs. Sorry for the convenience.
Just in MSG.
Whatever it is, it's just.
In MSG, right when you get past the suites level, the next level is steer. There's only it's
What
escalator.
a, what a
steer.
flex! What a
There's
flex!
only-
Like,
there's only one level. There's no escalator.
were you by the
come
Nick
down.
game? Is that like you're trying to tell us that you were by the finals? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I was by the watch party.
Okay, so I knew it was a flex. It was like had to figure out how to stick in that muscle somewhere. But good for you.
That's right.
I sat next to Mamdani in the
Respect.
top row.
What?
I said I sat next to Mamdani in the top row.
Nadi was in the Blues. That's what he said.
I always said.
Nosebleeds.
He claims he was there. He also claimed he got his ticket for under $1,000, but nothing went for less than 8. So.
Anyways,
That's Kashak in action.
Should have told him it's capitalism.
so that's the story. So this is the story. So last week's parasha was the parasha of Bahaloischa getting weaned. This week's parasha Shlach.
Are we doing a double parsha this week?
What?
We're doing a double parsha?
No, so I'm just gonna give you two short thing. Let's
Ask a parsha
what
question.
did I want to do? What?
Can I ask a parsha question?
Okay. It's not like we were
dialogue
focused anyway. What?
The dialogue between God and Moshe, where he says, but he seems to be that he's pointing out to him that it's going to look bad. It's going to be a chil Hashem. He says, how is it going to look to the whole world that you took us, everyone out of Mitzrayim, and you did this and did that, just to kill them in the Midbar. So he's basically, it seems he's telling him, this is going to look bad. And God says, you know what, you're right. Like, did he not? If he wanted to do that, then he would be calculating that either way. So Moshe, like, what's the?
So a lot of
What's the
terutzim, a
dialogue
lot of listen. I think the simplest way to say it, the nicest way, is that the entire purpose of Klal Yisrael in the world. We've said this many times. What is the purpose of Klal Yisrael? Well, we're Hashem's teammates in the Bria, so we have to ask, what's Hashem's purpose in the Bria? Hashem's purpose in the Bria was He created the world lahetiv, that the people should be able to live life and enjoy, to invest themselves in life and enjoy the brachas. The problem is that it's a scary thing and people cop out. I always say, this is the Gan. We're in the Gan. But instead of dancing in the Gan, everybody's hiding in the bushes. Why is everybody hiding in the bushes? Because they're afraid, they're ashamed that whatever, we don't believe in Matzliach, so we're all hiding. So what's Klal Yisrael's role? What happens is everyone's gotten bruised and everyone's gotten hurt, so everybody's reluctant and everybody's hiding. That's the story. Adam and Chava ate from the tree, they got ashamed, they felt guilty and ashamed, and they went to hide. And that's the story of all humanity. Everybody does Averis, we do things wrong, we end up ashamed, and then we don't believe Ogri Matzliach, and therefore we go hide. That's the story of every Adam and Chava ever lived. So what is the way you solve that? So the way you solve it is however you solve it, that's what Klal Yisrael was created for. Klal Yisrael was created to know that we're in a relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom, and everyone messes up, and everyone suffers, and everyone has trauma and drama, and yet, look at us. We're still trying. Klal Yisrael is living. Why? Because Hashem loves us. He's not a cruel person. He loves us. And the message of Klal Yisrael, we're Meleches Kainim. We are here to get all the Adams in the world to go back in the Gan and keep on dreaming. And the way you do that is you just say, look at us. We've been through everything that you've been through. We've been hurt as much as you, and we failed as much as you, and we're still dreaming. Right? So how could you do that? What is the koyach? The knowledge that Hashem wants your success. So to kill Klal Yisrael over here in the Midbar is literally Moshe saying is that you are literally undoing your entire plan for the Bria. Right? Our entire message to the world was that Hashem loves you, and you messed up, and He loves you anyway. And that's what you made us for. So because we messed up, now you're gonna you're gonna quit, you're gonna throw in the whole thing. That's the best argument in the world. That is the most compelling argument ever to the Rebbeinu Shalom is Hashem, I messed up. Make me be matzliach anyway, because that's what the world needs to see. They need to see that you can mess up, and it's even better to mess up than to be a tzaddik, because the world doesn't need to see tzaddikim. The world needs to see people who mess up and still live. That's what? No, that's Ishvitz. But that's the truth, right? That was really the brother's position on Yosef. Why gotta get rid of Yosef? Yosef, you're a mazik. The world doesn't need Yosef's perfect kids who grew up in perfect marriages, and your father loved your mother and worked 14 years to marry your mother, and every time you saw your father talk about your mother, his eyes were lit up, and you never saw your mother crying at night. You never saw any of that. So you walk around like a perfect tzaddik, and everyone who sees you is just going to become a yayish, because you're the only person in the world like that. And we have to destroy you. You're going to destroy mankind with your dreaming. You don't live in the real world. We need people who are broken. We need broken people who are making Yehuda into the leader. Because Yehuda grew up in a home where he heard his mother crying every night because she was a snua, and she named her kids after her pain. And we see a Yehuda who wakes up in the morning and does his thing, even though he was mavuyish and he destroyed his life and he humiliated himself and he did this, and he still gets up and does it. That's what we need. That was the brother's position on Yosef. It makes a lot of sense. But the world doesn't need more tzaddikim. The world needs upside down nuns. Yeah, that's what we need. We need people who. And that's why the luchais, that's the shivei luchais, the broken luchais. Everything's the real.
The world needs tzaddikim that have been broken.
Yeah, the people.
Meaning if you stay broken,
Perhaps they're kind of falling up.
and you're staying down.
Yeah, no. You don't need people who be yayish, but you need people. You don't even need tzaddikim. You need people who are trying. People who were shattered and were not broken by it. And are still dreaming. People who are dreaming after the fall. That's what the world is. That's Klal Yisrael. That's who we are. We never got there yet. We never got there, but that's what we represent. We represent one thing. That no matter what we went through and how much we mess up, there's no one who dreams bigger than us. We're opening businesses, we're doing deals, we're hustling like the most entitled people in the world. Even though we're the most broken, we have more scars, but we're living like that's the message to the world. Is nobody fell more than us, nobody got hurt more than us, nobody's been massacred, tortured, bruised more than us, and we're still the biggest hustlers in the world. We didn't lose one step. That's
the only way to survive.
I don't know.
It can only be the style.
It's less than 1% of the world is doing that, right? Everybody else is figuring out. The world is just busy looking for new hiding places, better drugs, darker clubs, sicker websites, just dark. The world is just looking to be numb, except us. And it's a very good taina to the Rebbeinu Shalom that Mamish Hashem, if you do this, you're literally ruining your whole. Like, what are you doing? That's what they say to him. Like. And you can use it fakir. You can say, Hashem, give me hatzlacha. Give me hatzlacha. Show the world that you could be a disaster and Hashem still takes care of you. Such an amazing, amazing tefillah. That's the upside down then. Anyways, this week's parasha.
Do you have to go to shirt?
No. The other shit's canceled this week.
This is good.
The other parasha. The other parasha. Let me
Oh,
just.
we're settling in.
No, I'll just tell you that. I'll just tell you. You know this Torah. I just want to add in. I just want. Someone said I said it already. Oh, but he said it. I said it in somewhere a long time ago. The tzitzis. This week's parasha starts off the Meraglim. The Meraglim is they send people losur es haaretz. The parasha ends with. By the way, this is just the following up. This is the follow up of Bahalaischa. Why do they want to send spies? What are they doing?
We want to do it ourselves.
Want to do it ourselves. This is.
don't want help.
We don't want help. We want to do it. We want to do it ourselves. It's literally this is the new, and we mess up, and then you do it yourself. You know what happens when you do it yourself? when they're giants, you get very scared. There's nothing wrong with what they said. They're giants. They are giants. Hashem agreed to us that we could do it ourselves. What they didn't understand is that you could have both. I love you. I want you to do it yourself. But I'm going to carry you anyway. I'm going to carry you. It's like I always say, like this is my hakara. Hakara is like, it's a very good way to look at the world. It's like, I thought of this when I was doing a lot of kiruv, Fraya people. I was saying like, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to make everybody in the world from, you don't think he could do it in 2 seconds? Right? It's the world is so amazingly true and everything is so perfect. If Hashem gave anyone a glimpse, not even give him a glimpse, if he stopped hiding so much, everybody would see it. Hashem has to work overtime to hide his shleimus. So all Hashem would have to do to make everyone in the world from is just stop hiding. He doesn't have to do anything, it's just stop hiding. So why is Hashem hiding? So somebody could say, yeah, I'm a Kiruv guy, I'm a God's guy. Like, God, I got your back. Like, look at me. Like look what I do for you. But the emphasis is fakert. Hashem is literally hiding himself so that people will be off of there. So I have something to do with my life. So I can feel a little bit important for 5 minutes. That's how you have to look at the world.
It's a chiddush, bro.
What?
That's a chiddush.
Why is it a chiddush? That's the truth. Hashem can make the entire world perfect. Why is it imperfect? For what?
That's a good question.
So that we could feel like a somebody. He did all this, all the tsar, all the brokenness.
The reason people aren't religious is to keep the Kier organizations in business.
Not the Kier organizations. It's not about organizations. It's about Yitzi Feldheim. And the reason why people are sick is to make the Hatzalah guy. People fall off their bikes, the Hatzalah guy feels like a somebody. And people get mugged so that the Shonim guy could feel good. And this guy got a flat tire so that the Chaverim guy could fix his tire. The only reason why there's any Hester in the world is because there's a person whose role is to fix that Hester, to bandage that wound.
What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
What?
What comes first?
We know what comes first. What comes first is a perfect God. So therefore, a perfect God only created things lahativ. So all Hester was created to give. What's the giving? That we get to feel like God for 5 minutes. Hashem, all the godliness, this is so powerful. All the godliness that Hashem hid, he didn't hide it. He distributed it. Every hidden thing in the world is just God saying, here, this is your piece of God to do. You get to be God on this. Here's a jack. You get to be God on this. Here's a stethoscope. And you get to give a shear, and you get to give hugs, and you get to shoot bad people. But every single...
You get to yell at power bottom.
Whatever it is. But it's such a powerful thing. Is that God, look at it like this, that Hashem is still Shalem. He's still 100% of God. But Hashem distributed little bits of it to all of us. Every one of us gets a little bit of God's job. And the way Hashem does it, he creates brokenness and he put you in the room. So that's your job. It's a very, very empowering way. It's humbling at the same. It's humbling at the same time. It's empowering. You go, wow, I get to do God's job, and then the humbling is, wow, Hashem allowed all this messed up stuff in the world just so I could have the chance to feel like a somebody. So it allows you to feel like a somebody without any gaiva whatsoever. Like you could be ashamed of what big of a shnori you are in your gaiva trip. Isn't that amazing?
Taking is the biggest act of giving. You're giving the other people ability to give.
Yeah, that's what Hashem.
It's already your second way being matzdik the
What?
Anova trip. I think.
It's what?
The second time you're taking the Anova Gaiva trip and working on it.
Oh, that was, you got to me the last time. We did not know if I'm guy the last time.
With the
But-
shoes.
But let me just go over here. So now
Tzitzis.
the tzitzis. Let me just say this with tzitzis. So the tzitzis talk is such important. You say, I'll cut to the end. There's a pattern. You have to find the pattern in the Torah. The Torah has halacha like this: that loisachal pas reishcha. Right? I'm sure you never. I'm sure you're very makbid on
The most.
no fades. What?
I get fades, I just don't go under 1.5.
You know what?
I get fades, I just don't go under 5 millimeters.
Okay, whatever it is, but you be very makbid on it, and any other barber who's doing it, I'm sure you give him a shmooze.
When necessary.
Necessary? Yeah, if he's not doing it, you don't have to give him a shmooze. But if he's doing it, the only qualifier should be when necessary, not when he's shorter than me or weaker than me or not less powerful than me.
I said when necessary.
That's all. Just when necessary. That means that
alright.
when it's necessary, I don't mind if he's twice my size, if
I
he's
perform.
500 pounds and ripped. Okay? I don't care if he's my boss. Oh, wow. What do we got over here?
Chocolate chip s'mores, the circle ones, and the boxes are regular.
Oh, stop it.
Dessert.
He's getting s'mores.
Anyway, so here's the
I want a
story.
chocolate chip
So,
s'more.
Yeah, but you want a chocolate chip s'more?
I'm not into mushrooms, marshmallows.
I, was,
What do you say? The other one's plain chocolate chip? What do you say?
I didn't hear it.
Open it up, check.
So here's the pattern. The pattern is
Too many words. Chocolate chip.
Hashem says loisachal pas reishcha. What else?
It's
You-
chocolate chip.
There's marshmallows in it too.
It's marshmallows.
There is marshmallows? Yeah, this
Cookies with
says
marshmallows.
marshmallows.
What's in the bottom
This one's just this. Also marshmallow, but
Oh, here it is.
graham cracker.
What are they? What are the two different ones?
Chocolate chip and cracker.
But they're all s'mores. They all have
They're all
marshmallows.
marshmallows.
Oh, unreal.
This guy's on point.
No homework tonight, right?
How do I hire him for my next event?
Okay, so here's the part. So
Thank you,
I want to show you a pattern. There's an amazing pattern in the Torah. The pattern is that you have
I'm with you.
Chocolate chips.
you're not allowed to cut the corners of your face. You're not allowed to cut the corners of your field. Loisachal pas sodcha. Right? But a pattern needs three things. What else? What's the third one? It seems like
Tzitzis.
tzitzis. The Torah seems like that a pattern in the Torah is that the Torah wants, what's the pattern? That there should be stuff dangling off of corners. Three times in the Torah we see a corner with stuff.
Payoff.
What?
Payoff.
Peah, right? Peah
It's the field.
of your face, peah of your field, and the corners of your garments. So you have three. So define the pattern. What the pattern is? What? How? Be precise. All three are cases of corners where they're different, right? Peah of your face and your field, the thing grows organically off of it. Since it's not growing by itself, you tied it on. But either way, whether it's organic or tied on, it seems like the Torah wants. It seems like the Torah wants that you should have
What do we cut the camera?
that there should be stuff.
This is integral.
There should be stuff growing off
Give him
corners.
a napkin just in case when we get to Oakwood.
Yeah. So what's the pattern? You have a mahalach. What's the Torah saying?
It's also a riot that the earth is not flat.
No sharp edges.
I'm about to say the world is built in round.
Okay. So I have a few
You
roots.
know it's a riot the world is not flat, because if it was, then we'd have an issue about the full current.
So you have a few roots. See, I'll give you the philosophy teretz. Then we'll do a psychology. The philosophy teretz is this is the old Torah. Philosophy teretz is if Hashem is echad. Say Shema Hashem Elokeinu Hashem echad. That the whole world is not trillions of things. It's all one symphony. It's a puzzle. Everything's connected. So where does and Ra is period, is that everything's separated. So the front lines of that battle are where something ends. What's a corner? A corner, some people would say a corner, if I asked everybody to define a corner, most people would say it's a perimeter, a boundary, a gvul. It's the extremities, it's where something ends. The corner is the furthest reach. It's where you end. That's what a corner is. On the other hand, a corner, see that, the problem with that is that's the Goyish way of seeing a corner. If you believe that everything in the world is islands, so you end by your corner. Corner represents an end. But if you believe that everything in the world is echad, so then what's a corner?
Hiding spot, like a Hester?
That's what it looks like. What is it? What's it really?
Demigod.
Well, it's a junction. It's the place where I connect to something else. It's the place of connection. If everything's separate, then a corner is where we all end. If everything is one, then the corner is where we meet. It's like when you look at a puzzle piece, it has a little hole and a piece sticking out. So you go, there's a puzzle. And therefore, if that's the case, if the whole world is echad, so then the symbol of everything wrong with the world is a flush corner. There's nothing worse than a flush corner. What you're saying is everything are islands. But when something extends beyond the corner, what you're saying is that we're not cornered, we're junctions. It's like on a train, they have that thing on the end that couples the train together. On a puzzle piece, the thing that goes out. Is the sign of a yid, is payas are the sign of a yid. Tzitzis or Isim, I said, remember the whole Torah. The whole Torah is L'Shem Yichud Kudshu. Everything is the Miyachid Hashem. So we say before every mitzvah, L'Shem Yichud Kudshu Richu, to make everything one. So what that means is that every item in the world is really part of a puzzle. So how do you say that? By having that piece that sticks out. So that's what these mitzvahs are. This is why payas are the sign of a yid, and the field is payah, and is what you're saying is that we're not islands. That's philosophy. So, and the opposite of Yiddishkeit is a flush corner. You're saying we're all islands. So the struggle of Judaism, the statement of Judaism, takes place on a corner. A flush corner says that everything's period, and a projecting corner means that we're all echad. Everything's meant to be connected. We're connectors. That's philosophy. What's the psychological teretz? The psychological teretz is that what we said before, that the Gan were created to live. Instead, we all been through trauma and drama, and everybody's curled up in a fetal position, hiding in the bushes in the Gan because of whatever you went through. So, and you believe that's what Miyayish would give up. So what the sign is, so when a corner is where you're at the end of your rope, when you're at the end of your line. The sign of a yid is that there's no such thing as a corner. When you think you got to the corner, that's where it starts. We project beyond our corners. When you think it's over, that's where we start. When you see, and that's what you see, that's what you're supposed to think. When you see payas, what are you supposed to think? It's no ends. It's nisim. There's no ends. When you see tzitzis, that's, remember the whole Torah. When you see tzitzis, it means that we project beyond our corners, and that's why it's tcheles. It's not just that you project. The string is tcheles, goes into the rakia, gets lost in the rakia. You're infinite. There's no limits. What tzitzis say is that you are unlimited. You don't think that this is as far as you can go. There's no yish. The opposite of yish is tzitzis, is payas, extending, because a corner is a gvul, and you're extending beyond your corner. And which brings us to the Haftarah, which is, you work on it yourself, but it's the trippiest thing to think about in the whole world. So what we're saying is that an end represents a boundary, and a string coming off the end, the tzitzis. By the way, that's what's cool also, why you need tzitzis and payas. Because some people will say that it has to come from you. You have it inside of you to extend. And the response to, and I don't have anything. I'm already been cut. They razored me. And the Torah says that you could tie the string back on the corners. There's different ways to extend beyond yourself. It doesn't have to be that.
It's Gamal Manikas. It's both comes independent and from others.
Very nice. Very nice. What? Oh no, we'll keep the last thing. We'll keep the last punchline. The last punchline is so you have the blue thread coming off the corner, going into the horizon, that's tzitzis. But how does the Haftarah end? What's the Haftarah? The Haftarah is the second Meraglim. After everyone died, and they sent Meraglim into Yerichai, and Roch of the Zoyna hid them in their house, right? And they made a deal where they're going to save her. What?
Because I understand at the corner.
Maybe I hear. That's not where I was going, but you'll hear. It's similar. In the end, they make a deal with her. She saved them. She said she knows they're going to destroy the city. So what does she make a deal with them?
You string out the window.
She lived in the edge of the city. She lived in the wall, Bakir Ha'ir, so that people could come in there and sneak up. And she had a rope that they used to climb down. They went up by rope into her. So she also has two different ropes coming out of her window in the edge of the city. The Haftarah ends off and tell her to tie a red string in her window. When they come to destroy Yerichai, they're going to see the red string, and everyone in her apartment will live. So you have to think, what is the blue string? It's called a psil techeles and a chevel hashon, and a tikvas hashani. The red thread and the blue thread, both coming off the ends. And it definitely wants you to shtel on it. If you look at the end of Parsha ends off with tzitzis, then it runs right into the Haftarah, which is the same string tied at the end of the city. So we try a blue thread to the city, and she's telling them to tie a red thread at the end in the window at the end of the city, which is it's too obvious that it's supposed to be a tzushtel. Okay, something to work on.
Red pill, blue pill.
What?
Red pill, blue pill.
Red pill, blue pill.
Wow. Well, that was a perfect ending.
Good to be back.
No, we didn't do any Meraglim. We didn't do Meraglim, but okay.
This is.
That's the cliffhanger.
What?
Is that-
We spoke about that.